Hi, it's a beautiful morning in Coto de Caza, and I'm on Vista del Verde, and I'm sure you've driven right by this spot many times, and you've wondered to yourself, what are all these cacti doing here? Well, these are all from the same genus, Opuntia or Opuntia, either way is okay, and they're all called prickly pears. Now we have three varieties here that I'll share with you. And we'll start right up here. This one here is called the coastal prickly pear. It's the most common cactus we have in Coto de Caza. And you find it up at the sports park, and you find a really nice batch behind the North Golf Course number 6 green. Now this is the coastal prickly pear. Has the Latin name Opuntia littoralis. And littoralis means close to the seashore. Now this is only found in Southern California and Mexico. You recognize it by its elongated pads. The pad is called a cladode, and they're very spiny, as you can see. We also have another variety of this cacti that is more circular instead of elongated, and that's called a chaparral prickly pear. But we don't have one up here, so I'll have to share that with you at a later time. Now this plant is edible. You can shear off the spines and you can eat the pad here. The fruits are also very edible. And here's one of the fruits developing here. Here's a very big batch of the coastal prickly pear along Vista del Verde. Notice the beautiful flowers. Now it's late May right now, and all these beautiful flowers will turn into fruits that look just like this. And these are the fruits you can pick right here. Watch out for the thorns. But you can pick this fruit. You open it up, ow, darn it, and you can eat it. I got a thorn. Anyway, here's complete, beautiful, beautiful batch of this coastal prickly pear. And it's right across from hole 10 and hole 11 on the golf course. So this is Opuntia littoralis. Now we also have this purple guy. Now this is very clever. It's called a purple prickly pear. It is Opuntia macrocentra. It can grow about 4 feet tall, and it has a pigment called betalain. There's only a few cacti that can make this purple color with that pigment. And it's really for ornamental display. You find it in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and along the Mexican border. It has pretty yellow flowers that develop in May or June, and the flowers turn into fruits, like the other prickly pears. So it's turning green right now. It typically only turns purple in very good drought conditions, and very hot, where it's very stressed out. It turns purple. So a lot of people buy these purple, they take them home to their gardens, and they turn green, and they wonder why it turned green. Well, it's because they're taking care of them too much. So it's good to keep these guys nice and water-free in very hot environments. So this one here, this is called a Barbary Fig. This is Opuntia ficus-indica. Now this plant is cultivated in Mexico to have no spines. It's very smooth and is cultivated as a food crop. And in very high arid places across the world, this plant is grown as a food supply. Now a long time ago, when there's only boats and no airplanes, the explorers or the trade merchants would take these plants on the boats and they transplant them to different countries as a food source. Now the fruit, it has no fruit on it today, but it turns out to be a very red fruit that has the highest amount of vitamin C than any other fruit from any tree or bush. And that vitamin C was essential to help fight scurvy for the people on the boat. In Mexico, our Barbary fig is called a nopal. And this, the cladode, is called a tuna. And so what you do, you can take this tuna and you slice it up into almost like strips, like jicama strips, and then it becomes what's called a nopalito. And you can buy these at the grocery store. They're canned, they're jarred, they're pickled, they're raw. You can buy the whole pad raw if you want. And then for breakfast, you fry it up with eggs and some jalapeno. And it's called the poor man's breakfast in Mexico. Now these are very easy to propagate. They're grown throughout the world in poor countries that are very arid, hot and dry. And all you do is you can cleave off this part right here. You can take the whole tuna or cladode, oops, and you can plant them just in the ground, just like this, and they will grow rather rapidly by themselves with very little care and very little water. And these guys can get up to 7 feet tall, and they're farmed in the 1,000 hectares out in arid places like North Africa or Mediterranean, where you have these complete Barbary fig farms. So there we have it. We have our Opuntia littoralis, the coastal prickly pear. We have the Opuntia macrocentra, the purple prickly pear. And here we have the Opuntia ficus-indica, or the Barbary fig prickly pear. Okay, so thanks for watching another episode of my plants, and hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.